y'all. Okay, so I'm 40 weeks and 4 days, and I've been thinking I wanted to make this video to show you my home birthing kit. And it's okay, he's gonna be home soon. You're good. Hey, you're good. I've just been putting it off because I've been doing all the things, and it's funny because I had this feeling like a week ago, like when you get to the end, you're like, is it today? And I every day you kind of think maybe it's the day, and I've just decided to really surrender and really step into the lessons of patience and just live it day by day. But it's starting to feel like maybe we could really actually be closer, and if I want to make this video, I better get it done. So I want to show y'all everything that I have that I've built up for my home birth kit, is what I'm calling it. Baby's moving around a lot right now. So yeah, I have my birthing ball, which I live in a tiny house, so if I'm not using it, it's sitting here on top of my bassinet right here. I have everything stored right here for convenience and because I really have no other place to keep it right now. So I guess I'll start with this bag I have. This is just a bag of all used bed sheets that were given to me. It was something I asked for. If anybody had to use bed sheets, so I got a ton of bed sheets, cleaned them, and I also have a shower curtain. So that's just for layering up the bed. I also have a birth pool, which is not in here right now. It's out in my shed, and so we'll just get that when we need it, get the pump when we need it. But because it's just another thing that takes up space right now. But yeah, I really just have the birthing pool, not like, I don't have a specific vision or hope for having the baby in the pool. It's more so just like I would like to have that as a form of just like, you know, having a chill out moment and letting myself relax a little bit if things just get to a point where it's like, okay, you know, I would like to relax in my body just for a little bit. If contractions are super intense and I just hit that point where I'm like, I want to get in the pool. If it happens in the pool, it happens in the pool, but my plan is to have my couch covered with a waterproof blanket, and some towels, and then have my bed covered in layers with the shower curtain and the bed sheets, and also probably just some towels to have on hand, and also Chuck's pads. And I also, not pictured here in this area, is a tarp to put underneath the pool. We have a nice small size birthing pool for the living room. So those are like all the potential spaces that I could be in when it happens. And so I kind of want to have every little space prepared and covered for if it happens here or there or in the bed. I have this heating pad, which is funny because I've had it for a while, never used it. Ended up giving it away to my mom, and then recently called her and was like, hey, can I borrow that back, because we don't have a dryer, and we hang dry all of our clothes on a line. And so a lot of the books I have on home birth and unassisted birth, they're like, you know, warm towels and warm your blankets in a dryer, your receiving blankets for the baby. And I'm like, I don't have that. But I saw this in one of the books. It was like, or you can have them like sitting on a heating pad. And I was like, I'm gonna try that. Like, I don't know how efficient it's gonna be, but I'm gonna set up the heating pad and just put some blankets on it, and maybe have them like enclosed in something, I don't know, and maybe they'll be like nice and warm. So that's just kind of like a, we'll see how that works. I have this absolutely ginormous box of Chuck's pads. I have 50 super absorbency disposable underpads. I figure that whatever is left over, I'll probably end up just lying on my bed for if I just feel like free bleeding afterwards during some parts, just to let myself like air things out. I've also made myself like postpartum padsicles. I have all kinds of sitz bath stuff. I actually have a video that I'll link in the description to my postpartum cart where some of that stuff is on there. So perineum spray, stuff like that, but I think there are going to be times when I'm like, let me just sit here naked and bleed. And so I'll be still getting to use the rest of these is what I'm thinking. Now we're gonna get into like more of my actual kit that I have put together. This is just a piece of cardboard for to cover in tinfoil if I decide. I think I would really like to do a cord burning for the umbilical cord, and so I'll just kind of cut out an area and cover this in tinfoil and have this as kind of like a space between the burning and the baby. So that the heat doesn't come over to him. And then this here is my birthing stool, which can be used afterwards as a squatty potty, which is nice. We used to have a squatty potty that was kind of stuck like this, and we have never been able to use it here in the tiny house because it takes up too much space in our bathroom, which is super tiny. But this I can fold up and kind of like put on the side of the shower or something, on the side of the toilet. And so this is really perfect. So yeah, I got this on Amazon and it's really pretty, but also it's just perfect place for me to like sit and just squat, because who knows what position my body is going to direct me to be in at that time, and God too, because to me it really is such a divinely led experience. So here is my big bin, my birthing kit that I've put together. Maybe I can set this up on the stool. There's less bending over involved. Quarters are tight within me. Baby is like getting pretty deep down there in my pelvis. My belly has dropped significantly, and so bending over definitely feels pretty different at this point. This is a liner that I got for the birthing pool. It had like it came from In His Hands, I think is the name of the website. And it's made specifically to fit the pool that I got, which I borrowed from a friend of mine who's a midwife. And it had like a weird plasticky smell that I was like, ugh. So I let it air out a little bit and then put it back in the package. That way it doesn't gross me out too bad. This is a fetal Doppler that was a hand-me-down from a family member. I don't even think she used it, but batteries work, everything works, and this is just something to have on hand that is just in case. I'm not even sure whether or not I will use it, but it's something that if I feel like I need it, I have it, and I like to feel really prepared. As you will probably notice, this is just paperwork for it's a home birth packet and all the stuff that I have to fill out for the state to file a birth certificate for the baby. This is, some of you may know, This is a little fish scooper that I got at the pet store, aka a poop scooper. And this really is just in case I poop in the birthing pool and I just don't want it floating around with me, and so my partner Landon can scoop it out for me. And also in the realm of pooping outside of the pool potentially, I do think that like it's part of the experience, and it introduces your baby's like microbiome to just more things that they need to like build them up. Like it's a very intelligent design, our bodies and birth and our babies and all the things that they need to be exposed to. But for me, I don't want like obviously a ton of poop coming out and running all over my baby's face. So I got these little gauze pads, so that, if like, yeah, so he can clean it up. My partner can reach back there and clean it up for me, so that we don't have a really poopy situation. These are just, in this little pack is some little, my midwife friend gave me these, and it's just like test strips to test like if your water breaks and you're not sure and you're like leaking amniotic fluid. Ooh, goodness, that was a big movement. You can do a little test. I have a couple of these, just to see if that is what it is. And nothing's happened so far, so we'll see. I have Birth and Baby Oil by Mother Love Company. It's really just like, I think it's it's apricot kernel oil and lavender flower extract. That's it. And it's really just for like to use during labor, to put on your perineum, and also you can use what's left over as like a massage oil for your baby's skin. It's supposed to be good for that. So that's nice. I have a Haka silicone bulb, a little syringe for sucking out snot and fluids. Although when I got this, it says that it's 12 months plus, and I'm not really sure if I'm going to use this during the birthing experience. I am a very like primal intuitive person, and I really feel like if I feel like there's anything in the lungs that's not, my first go-to is like hold the baby face down and rub his back. But also if I feel like there's anything in there that's not being cleared, I know that I'm the kind of person that will just put my mouth to his nose and mouth and just suck and spit whatever there is out. So that's really going to be my go-to. This is another one of those just in case things. And I have it for when I need it for later for the baby. Also I have a nasal aspirator, just like with my other baby stuff. I got some Manuka honey. I got this from HomeGoods, and my partner feels like that's a pretty shady store, and he thinks maybe this is not legit Manuka honey. And he has a valid concern, I will say. It's definitely a lot cheaper than regular Manuka honey. But I just got this for one, it's nice to have honey while you're birthing, but also in case I tear, this will be something that I use on the tear to help the healing process. And I have used honey on cuts before. My partner, he got a huge gash in his head one time, and I used honey when I would clean it as like to help heal it, and it was amazing how quickly it healed. Okay. I also got this Quinton hypertonic solution that I think there's like 30 ampules in here. And this also is something I learned from my midwife friend, and she was like given this right after her birth while she was still in the pool. One thing that's pretty crazy is that the glass vial, the whole thing is glass, and you use this little thingy to like break the glass, and you have to be careful not to have any like glass shards. I think, in fact, I have a little mesh filter for tea, and I might stick that in my kit to go with this, just to pour it through that, just in case there is any glass. But anyways, this is made from, it's extracted from a living plankton bloom, and so it really is just, I got this to replenish minerals in my body, just for like the sake of depletion. And it's like electrolytes from seawater basically, and so good stuff. Speaking of electrolytes, I also have 4 like huge bottles of coconut water in the fridge, and my partner likes to make me this like electrolyte drink with that and lime and some mineral salt and like a cherry juice concentrate, or like a type of a fruit concentrate, and it's delicious. And I'll definitely be drinking that throughout the birthing experience. I'm excited about these two because I'll continue to use them after, and also he can use them too, my partner. And so it's just like something that'll be nice to have in general. I made myself, just in case I decide to use them, I have 2 options. I have some natural beeswax candles for burning the umbilical cord. A lot of people say that they thought that would be nice, but then they didn't have the patience, and they didn't want to do it, and this and that. And I feel like him and I are very like slow living type of people. We're not in a rush. We like are going to be so savoring the experience, and we're also not going to be in a rush to even like, you know, separate baby from the placenta in like any certain amount of time until it just feels right. Most likely, if you know, you never know, he could have a really short cord, it could take longer to birth the placenta, you never know. But just ideally, I believe, you know, everything's going to go beautifully, and he's going to have a lot of time to still be connected. And when we feel it's right, I would like to burn the cord. And I also made myself some, my friend was like, you can go to Tractor Supply and get umbilical clamps. And I was like, cool. And then I went and they didn't have any. And then I found out you can just crochet your own from like cotton yarn, and I like to crochet, and it was easy. And then some say it's not necessary to sterilize them, but I did anyways. So I made myself these cotton cords to tie off the umbilical cord and sterilize them, and just put them in a little bag for now. So we're getting closer to the end of my kit. I have a little measuring tape for measuring the length of the baby, just for birth certificate stuff really, and just something kind of cool to know. I really think this is a really big guy in here. I bought cute little heart-shaped mirror, just in case I decide I would like to see when he's crowning. If I just want to look down at any point and see some of the process, I chose heart shape because, you know, like, come on, why not? So I have this mirror in case. And it's something that also I'll be able to use afterwards. Like, we travel a lot, so I can take that with me on the road, for while we sell art at festivals and stuff, and I'm there for like a whole week at a time. It'd be nice to have like a decent sized mirror. Okay, so I have a bathtub heater. Do not get in the pool if this is in there. Just so you know. Don't even touch the water. You have to take it out and like wait a minute after and then test the water. But anyways, I have this because like our hot water heater, you get like 10 minutes out of it. It does not last long. So this is for heating up the pool. or reheating it. And this was gifted to me by a friend who I got it for her home birth, ended up not using it, and it has like a European outlet. So I also have this like converter from European to American. So got those two things. And then last few things here, a fish scale to weigh the baby. I already can just use a fish scale. And whose book was it? It's an unassisted birth book. I could probably show y'all a couple of the books I have for resources for like things that you want on hand. Another thing that I have is like large trash bags just for cleaning up all of the towels and stuff like that really easily, and then getting the laundry later. Hydrogen peroxide for cleaning blood out works great. So yeah, I have a fish scale to weigh him so I know his weight, which is probably gonna be pretty big. And then last but absolutely not least, this is really important to me. Super important to me that I had these on, some of these specifically on hand. So I have some herbal tinctures here. A few of them were hand-me-downs from friends. Tinctures last a really long time. Like this one I will probably, I highly doubt I would use. I'm really steeping myself in the lessons of patience, but this one has black cohosh, blue cohosh, ginger root, and lobelia, and it's really more for like if you're trying to induce your labor and get things going. Also this one, you know, not lobelia. I don't really think I will use it, but it's here just in case. It's more for like ripening your cervix. Something that I really did want, I have two of them, also hand me down, and this was on my list to buy, so it was nice to be gifted these, is After Ease for pregnancy. It's by the company Wish Garden, and Wish Garden makes like the coolest, they make so many awesome tinctures. I've bought so many different tinctures from them over time. And this really is just kind of for like your cramping that happens after birth. And then I also have an anti-hemorrhage tincture that has blue cohosh, yarrow, alfalfa, and motherwort. And in that line of anti-hemorrhage tinctures, also just have a straight up motherwort tincture that I bought in case hemorrhaging happens. Another thing that you can do if you're like raw enough of a person to do this is, hey baby. This is something I definitely plan to do if it happens, is to just take a bite out of your placenta. It's the mother side that you would want to take a bite out of, and you can just kind of like put it in your side of your cheek, in each side of your cheek, and just suck on that. And women all over the world have done that, and it works. Something I have for laboring is a birth comb, which is just kind of like sort of an acupressure tool, but also just like a counterbalance to dealing with pain. And you just press it into the palm of your hand while you're going through contractions. And it has a sweet little message on here that says soft jaw, open cervix, and I got this on Etsy. And also I have some homeopathy tablets. I'm a big believer in homeopathy. I've used it for a really long time, and I've always found that for me it personally works well. So I have arnica, and this is just really something that I would use most likely after the experience if for any reason I was in shock, just dealing with more pains, you know, anything like that in that realm. And then I just have a couple of essential oils that I already had on hand here at the house. I would have liked probably to have bought some other ones, but I felt like it's what I have is fine. So I have lavender, which is really just for calming, like chilling you out, especially if you're overwhelmed or just experiencing a lot of pain. Also sweet orange oil, and then peppermint oil. Peppermint's supposed to be pretty invigorating, energizing. It can also be used after birth if you're having trouble going to the bathroom and peeing. You can, I would dilute it with an oil, like olive oil or coconut oil, and you can rub that on your inner thighs or put some in your toilet, and it is said to help you urinate. So that is my whole entire birthing kit, and I hope that you found this information helpful. And yeah, who knows, I may end up doing like a follow-up videos being like, here's what I actually used. But I think a lot of this stuff, aside from maybe a few of the tinctures that are just in case, will be really useful during the whole experience. So thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please hit the like button or comment or subscribe if you feel led to.